What it do, bruh? Talk of the town, Nintendo, Doc Trey still holding it down, still make the best games, and you know this, bro. It's the truth. If you don't like it, you can have that seatbelt.
So I picked up this game for Nintendo Switch last year, but for a different reason than you may think. But before we get things started here, we are still on the road to 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you're not subscribed and you're interested in Nintendo Switch 2 content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the video if you like it. And also leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about the topic. So I picked this game up on sale last year around Black Friday. And it was a pretty good deal. You get 3 games, and then I got it for $20. But this was not a popular title on the Switch. And the main reasoning behind that is because one of the games on the collection ran like straight up dookie. And that game is Batman Arkham Knight. And because this game ran so trash on this collection, a lot of people either didn't buy it or they waited until it got cheap, just like I did. Well, my main reasoning, actually, for buying this game on the cheap was actually for Nintendo Switch 2. Well, technically there was 2 reasons. The first reason, actually, was that this is the only current gen version of this game that has the original unaltered art of the first 2 games, because Virtuous Games remastered this series, or the first 2 games, a few years back, and arguably, well, not arguably, a lot of the stuff they actually made look worse somehow. And so this is the only way to play the original art of these games, an original art direction on a current gen game system, outside of probably Xbox backwards compatibility with like the 360 or whatever. But this is the only, this is outside of those 2. This is the only way to do that, right? So at that price, it's worth it just for those 2 alone. You get the unaltered versions of those games, and it even looks better than the original, but with the original art. So it's worth it for that price alone. But one of the other main reasons why I purchased this game was for the Nintendo Switch 2 and for the Nintendo Switch 2 backwards compatibility. Because I assumed, and I'm sure I assumed right, that games like this that run like crap on the Switch, that have a variable frame rate, an unlocked, uncapped frame rate, will run and look significantly better on the Nintendo Switch 2. And that's one of the big reasons why I ended up picking this game up on a sale, because I'm interested to see how Batman Arkham Knight on the Switch performs and looks running on the much, much higher end Nintendo Switch 2. Now, whether this is going to need them to patch, or maybe it will just run that much better just strictly out the box. Because if it's a unlocked frame rate, running in something like the Switch 2 that's significantly more powerful than the original Switch, on paper, that frame rate should be running at its maximum frame rate when running on the Switch 2. So very interesting to see how that actually plays out. I can't wait for the, like the comparisons and stuff to show the difference, because I'm sure there will be a pretty big difference, especially since how the Switch 2 is running these Switch 1 games isn't exactly the most straightforward. That actually kind of benefits us, because it means they might be actually doing it in a more advanced way, and these games will probably run better, a lot better. So I'm interested in that. But it would be also interesting if Warner Brothers threw us a bone and actually did a full upgrade for this game, but I don't know. Maybe the sales of the game may not have they thought it would warrant that, but we'll see. It would be cool if they did throw us a bone, because yeah, this game ran beyond bad on the Switch. But I'm interested to see how it runs on the Switch too. And there's some other games that I'm actually interested in that also, but this one the most, because this game ran the worst. It was pretty much unplayable. But on the Switch 2, it might be a lot more playable. And I got it on the cheap. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Was there any games that you guys bought for the Switch or held on to on the Switch that didn't run or look that well, that you just held on to or bought because you're hoping that it's going to look and run better on the Switch 2? Let me know in the comments section.